Hi, this is Mariami from Shaman Essence, and here is part 2 to my somatic movement education. Part 1 was just practicing inhibition, and I'm going to go a little deeper into that now, but briefly. Hopefully you've practiced that a few times. So one thing I didn't go into was head support. If you find when you lie on your back that your shoulders, I don't know if you can see me, if I've got the video in the right place, if your shoulders tend to round forward or come off the floor and the neck is arched, I like to place a nice firm support under my head. There are days when I don't use any support, but I find the support is great because it allows the head to have that slightly going forward and up movement, not movement, but position, so the neck can be very soft and released. Get this chair out of the way. I like to start just really relaxed on the floor, and normally in Feldenkrais we do like a full body scan, we compare right and left and so forth, but today we're just going to keep it very simple. Just sense the way you are without wanting to fix it or change it. So if one leg feels heavier or longer, or you don't feel symmetrical, that's fine. Just allow yourself to release judgment and just be as you are. A great thing to do also is to remove any spectacles so that you are not becoming very like staring with your eyes. You want to be very soft with the peripheral vision. And there's nothing we really need to see now except for the space around us, and sense the floor underneath us. And your breathing, the sounds in the room. So when I bring my legs to stand, I want to keep the psoas, the hip flexors, very soft. And sometimes this is a whole learning curve for people just learning how to bring the legs up. When I bring my legs up to stand, I just slide them up, and it immediately changes the position of my head. So the chin comes slightly away from the chest. And I used to sort of fidget a lot and fix things, and now I just want to get to that place where I can adapt without shifting or fidgeting, and just notice things. So without the book, it would probably be more comfortable for me to change from long leg to semi-supine. And in semi-supine, my body type, there tends to be a lot of clenching of the inner thighs, and often it's very unconscious. So I think about the contact of my feet on the floor, I sense it, and that my knees are floating forward and up, and my eyes are soft. And I like to look towards the pinky and allow my head to roll a little bit. So I know my head can maybe go twice the range. I'm not interested in how far the range is. I'm interested in about 50% of my range, which is always changing. So I look down towards my pinky toe a little bit. That pulls my head, my neck. And then I look up to the level of the shoulder, soft gaze, and my head comes back. So eyes allow the head to follow. And then eyes sweep up to my horizon on my left. And then I come back to center and I pause. So I'm not looking to turn my head or to be a certain type of flexibility or mobility that I expect my body, because that's judgment. This is this moment now. There are days or mornings where my head only wants to roll maybe 2 millimeters, and I just allow that. And then the other way might be a complete different experience. Rolling my head to the right may feel more like I'm going uphill, more bumpy. Maybe it's the way I've done my hair, so sometimes it's a good idea to have your ponytails out. So that's a nice thing, is just to remind the neck and the eyes and the jaw to be soft. And you don't want to get dependent on rolling your head to remind the neck and jaw. It can be an exercise in itself just to not do and just to be. So if you just practice inhibition here and not doing, things will just fall into place. Things will, you're kind of getting out of your own way. And then the lovely thing is to just allow the legs to slide down and pause. Notice the changes. Sense the room around you, the sounds, the breathing, contact with the floor. And notice if you tend to stare and focus, or can you allow the experience to be expanded and be unified within and without. Everything is one unified field of awareness. So the rolling of the head is lovely. Nice release in the neck and the jaw. If you clench your teeth slightly, you'll notice that the quality of the rolling the head changes immediately and the range changes. So really check that there's softness in the mouth. The bottom and top teeth often don't even touch each other. There is a gap. And the tongue and the base of the throat is very, very soft. And any difficulties in mobility, movement, any difficulties in life, as soon as you soften the eyes and the jaw and the face, it becomes easier. So rolling to sitting, I think of soft eyes, where am I going, look where I'm going, and stay soft. And I can come up to sitting. And once again, the neck is soft, the eyes are soft, I can see the space around me, and I can come back onto the floor. So there are many lessons in learning how to come to sit. It's not about my head and neck, it's about all of me, every moment and any moment in life. It's always going to be about allowing your whole self to be present, allowing your whole self to be included in what you're doing. So it doesn't mean you use all your muscles in your body, you just include from your pinky toe to your ear, to the space around you, to gravity. Everything's inclusive in your experience. So that's a lovely second part. To practice inhibition on the floor with the legs long or the knees bent. Check that your inner thighs are soft, your neck is soft. Another thing about the inner thighs, because in the beginning, if you have a lot of tension in your legs, as soon as you soften the inner thighs, the legs are going to want to flop side to side. So you want to find that place where you're not collapsed. The legs can the knees can float forward whilst you've got the floor underneath your feet, but you don't have to clench to keep your knees from going forward. Think of a hanger underneath the backs of your knees, and it's just hanging and your legs are hanging in space. So I hope that's useful. Please give me any comments or feedback below, and I hope to make some longer awareness through movement videos. Not very easy to talk them through as I'm doing them on my own body, but I maybe get some of my students to allow me to record them and put that as a live feed as an awareness through movement in Feldenkrais class. Okay, have a beautiful day.